93X
rocks.
But now we're rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, Pablo from 93X, Northern Invasion, backstage, the Liquid Lounge. We moved it here to hang out with Rob Zombie.
Yes, in the parking lot.
Yeah, in the parking lot. I mean, why not, man? I mean, that's where it gets really
better, yeah.
No. So I'm going to hit you with a hard question right away. Now, I love your music, and I always have, but I'm really passionate about your film and your filmmaking. And for me, I guess I think about radio when I was a kid, and I got into that, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Then I get into radio, and I see what's behind the curtain a little bit, and how it changed my feelings and the idea of what I think of radio. For you, obviously, you're passionate about music, but you're passionate about film as well.
Yeah.
When you see now what's behind the curtain, has it changed your...
No, I mean, I had no delusions as to what things are. It's always a business. I mean,
so as far as Hollywood goes, or the business part,
I mean, it's the same as a record business, movie business. I mean, it's only worse because there's more money involved.
Yeah.
And essentially, you have talking $1 million business to $1 billion business, but the art of it's the same. What I care about is making the music or making the movies. Everything else about it is kind of a drag. The politics and the business and the lying and the cheating and the stealing that goes on that you're always fighting.
And that's
against.
every day? I mean, you're feeling that every day?
It's always like that. I mean, it's just like you can't trust anybody, but, that's life. I mean, that's why it's not for everybody. Like, I know a lot of people like, oh, I really want to make films. I'm like, you might have the talent, but that business is just going to eat you alive because it's not a nice business. You got to be tough. I mean, you have to be able to separate the art of what you're trying to accomplish and the backstabbing, horrible world that it must take place in most of the time. And if that doesn't discourage you, well, maybe it is the job for you.
Really? Okay. No, I get that. So has there been a point where you're like, okay, I got to walk away, or is it just you're built in, you're thick skinned, you're down?
It wears you out after a while. It really wears you out because, the artists do everything with the best of intentions, which would be the actors and the directors and the musicians. Everybody, sometimes people say, oh, they do it because they're egotistical, they do this or that. Nobody really does that. I mean, everybody's there for the right reason. It's the business around them that creates this whole other horrible thing where, you used to see in the early days where the bands are the ones who are out there touring for $100 a week, starving to death. Managers aren't, the record label isn't, the A&R people aren't, they're living in it. It's the same thing in the movie business. I mean, the real people that are really into it, they just do it because they love it, and they'll suffer for it. But everybody else, a bunch of weasels.
I love you. Rob Zombie said it. So with you working with a lot of the actors that, ones that maybe you were appreciated, you followed their careers a little bit, what is it makes you go back to the ones that you work with? Why do you appreciate them? Why are they consistently in your films?
Well, I mean, I switch it up a lot. I mean, I think, and I don't at times, I bring people back. Directors have always done that. You go back to the people they like to work with.
Sure.
A lot of it for me becomes also trust. And, the films I've been making, it's not like I have tons and tons and tons of money or tons of time. So I need people I can trust. And, when you bring in a new actor who you've never met and you don't really know, you just don't know what's going to happen. They might be super cool. They might be horrible to work with. They might look... Sometimes I've met people that are great in the movie, and you work with them, like, how did they ever get that performance out of that person? They can't remember one line. And then there's other people that you think they were crazy, they couldn't remember anything, and they're phenomenal. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get. So, when you have people that you can really rely on and trust, you tend to always want to go back to them because you know that, there's no way they're going to screw you over.
I would assume that your trust level then for Malcolm must be on the next level then.
Malcolm's great. Malcolm's really fun. I mean, I've worked with him. We've done 3 movies together and 1 TV show. He did the new movie 31. He doesn't have a huge role.
Oh, he doesn't?
No. I mean, he's in the movie a lot. It would appear that he has a big role, but I mean, let me rephrase that. His role is big, but he didn't work that many days.
Okay.
And he did it as a favor. He came in at the last minute because he was off doing something else. Like
I love his accent, by the way. Love it.
In the jungle or something. Yeah, the accent's real, actually. No, I love Malcolm. He's such a nice guy. He's great.
So he's just, pops in and you work with, obviously your wife being part of it too. So, again, it's familiar characters, but they all turn out to be completely different. And I'm really excited for 31, dude. I mean, are you pumped for this one? It's just...
Yeah, 31 I think is probably the best movie I've made. I think it's the best parts of all the other movies combined. And,
you turn up the gore, you turn up the scare. What?
I mean, it's just. I mean, I think it has the sort of down and dirtiness that Devil's Rejects had, but it has some of the grandness that Lords of Salem had. I mean, it's just a little bit of everything. It feels like I don't know. I'm just really happy with it. When I finally had it finished and premiered it and showed it, the whole cast was seeing it for the first time. and they're all super excited. So it was a great experience.
That's great. With then obviously switching gears and then going to the music, is that tough for you in any way, shape, or form? Because you're part of something that really consumes your life, and you really got to put all your focus into. Then to go into the studio and just flipping a switch, writing music.
Well, yeah, it takes a while because the things are so different. Like when I'm making a movie, I don't do anything else. I barely even communicate with the band. I don't think about music. I don't do anything. It's just the movie all day long.
Right.
Because the schedules are brutal. They just, for the next year and a half, 2 years, that's all your life will be is working on that movie.
Yeah.
So it is culture shock sometimes. Not so much. It's weird. Not so much going into the recording studio because that's not that dissimilar to working, editing or something. You're kind of locked away. It's going back on tour. Like, that's why I don't like to stay away for too long. I used to. When I'd make a movie, I'd be gone for so long that, like, I'd literally think, like, what do we even do on tour? Like, how is the show? What do we do? Like, I would just be... So now when we were making this movie, I'd finish shooting the movie, we'd go back on tour. I'd go back and edit for a while, I'd go back on tour. I'd bounce back and forth just to keep it not... I don't like being away that long. It is too much of a culture shock trying to get back in the groove.
Sure. Now, I know we have a mutual friend, M. Shadows. And Matt was telling me shortly after you maybe remember one of your last trips to Wisconsin, you played Rockfest. You got sick. Your voice blew out that crazy night. He hit me up, and him and I were talking back and forth. And he said it really bummed you out that you couldn't finish that show. That it was just a traumatic thing for you. It was like horrible.
Well, that never happened before. I mean, I've had shows where my voice is totally shot, but I could get through the show. Right. I know it sounded horrible, and I know it was painful, but I got through the show. That night, my voice was so gone, I couldn't even say to the crowd what the problem was.
Yeah.
And I could feel it all day, and you just have that thing in your mind, like, maybe somehow magically it's going to reappear at showtime, and you keep thinking, you get all ready, you get all dressed, you're all pumped, and you get out there, you go, fuck, man, and literally, I have literally no voice. And I was backstage, and they're like, you have to go out there and tell people what's going on. I can't even fucking make a sound. Right. How am I going to go explain what's going on? That sucked so bad. That was the worst thing ever.
I can imagine. So, and tonight, you're feeling good, my friend?
Yeah, tonight's fine. Tonight's only going to be tricky because I got to tell you, when it's this cold and you go to sing and the wind hits you in the face, that's not the greatest conditions for your voice, but it'll be fine.
Now, I heard that you're a recent new fan to BabyMetal. Tell me a little bit about this newfound love.
Well, I saw them the other day for the first time. I mean, I'd seen videos and stuff, but I saw them live for the first time the other day, and I just loved it. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. I mean, it was just like, leave it to the Japanese to find a way to make like fucking death metal cute. But it was awesome. It was just, you watch it, like, and the crowd, it was like I was on, the crowd was going fucking ape shit.
Sure.
Like, the amount of like crowd surfing and stage diving and just complete mayhem, which made it even funnier because there's 3 cute little girls that are like doing fucking karate on stage and shit. These guys are dressed like ghosts, like all in white.
Awesome.
It's the most bizarre fucking thing I've ever seen.
I wish you could go catch it right now because I think they're on stage right now, my friend.
It's totally worth watching. It's so good.
Well, I really appreciate your time, Rob. It's great, brother. Sure. I love it. 93X.
93X rocks.